Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at Parade Snow White from the Snow White series. Her ability description is magical bubbles appear at random. And the game demonstration that you're currently watching is a skill level 1 demonstration. And between skill level 1 to skill level 3, there are 3 different major differences. And the 3 things that are different is going to be the amount of chains or charge needed to activate Parade Snow White's ability. And then the second thing is the amount of bubbles that will show up on the screen. So at skill level 1, it's going to be between 1 to 3 magic bubbles that will be showing up on the screen. Skill level 2 is going to be 2 to 4. And at skill level 3, it's going to be between 3 to 5. And every single time you level her up, it's going to require 1 less Parade Snow White to charge and activate the ability. So that number is going to be random in terms of how many bubbles will show up on the screen. So some luck does have to do with it. But let's take a look at her stats. In order for you to activate her ability, it's going to require you anywhere between 16 to 21 clears off the screen. And that number is going to determine by how high you have her or which skill level you have her at. Her minimum score is 50 and the maximum score is 1079. So for score wise, minimum score is bad. You have to get her to a relatively high level in order to really use her effectively for score. And if you do want to get her to skill level 6, then you will need to get a total of 32 copies of her to get her to max out. And out of all 4 of these, Parade Snow White is probably my least favorite Tsum, but Parade Snow White is good for bubbles. So if you are looking for a Tsum that creates a good amount of magic bubbles, then that's a really good option for you to use her for bubble making. And there is a mission this month where it requires you to make a bunch of bubbles, so it's not a bad idea to get at least 1 copy of Parade Snow White. Now let's also take a look at her abilities side by side between skill level 1, 2, and 3. The game demonstration you were watching earlier is a skill level 1. So I want to just show you guys what the 3 differences are and talk a little bit more about her ability and how to effectively use her. And again, the 2 different things here is that it's going to require 1 less Tsum to charge her up as you level up her skill level. And also you're going to get 1 more possibility to get another bubble compared to the lower skill level, and also it increases the minimum as well. So really, when you are using Parade Snow White, there are 2 things you want to take notice of. When you are in Fever, there is a power-up feature, and this power-up feature is referenced to the radius of the burst. So if you look at skill level 2 right now, these little bubbles aren't charged up, they are just regular. So as you can see there, I purposely didn't pop those bubbles. But once you are in Fever and you see those bubbles that are radiating, it almost casts a shadow, I would say. I'm not really sure how to reference that, but that really tells you what the blast radius is going to be. So as you can tell, when it's a regular bubble and you're popping it, it's only going to pop the surrounding Tsums that the bubble is touching. But when you have this power up feature, it blasts about 2 rows across at the radius. Essentially, it's a lot bigger. So anything that the shadow touches will be burst. Another strategy that you might want to implement is try to pop these bubbles from top to bottom, meaning pop the ones that are more on top and then work your way down, because generally the bubbles that are on top will have more radius to burst or more Tsums to burst, because the Tsums that are at the very bottom doesn't necessarily have Tsums at the very bottom. Therefore, you're missing out on half the blast radius or half the chains. So to maximize your chain, you definitely want to try to pop your bubbles from top to bottom. And that really goes down to getting more coins. But honestly, Parade Snow White is not a Tsum that you would use to get a lot of coins anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But what I also want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of the ability activated at the same time. And to really digest this, we really have to slow this down significantly. So let's take a look. So first, Parade Snow White will pop out, and then she'll do her little dance here. So I want to bring something to your attention is take a look at these magic bubbles or these flowers. So these flowers essentially represent a Tsum on the screen being turned into a magic bubble. So for skill level 1, it's anywhere between 1 to 3. And then for skill level 2, it's 2 to 4. And for skill level 3, it's going to be anywhere between 3 to 5 bubbles. So you could get 4 technically for skill level 3, but I'm just showing you guys here on this gameplay what the maximums are, so you have a good understanding of what you might get for using these bubbles. And also take a look at it here. All of these bubbles are going to be special bubbles, so they have abilities in them. And earlier I mentioned the shadows of these magic bubbles. So if you look at these magic bubbles, there is like this bubble on top of the bubble. It's like a double bubble. But those things essentially represents the radius of the actual burst if you do pop them during the power up ability. And when it's powered up, it just means that you're popping the bubble during the fever time. So as you pop them, you'll notice that 2 stacks of Tsums are getting popped at once. So not only is the ones that's touching the bubble, but also the ones behind that as well. So it has like a mega burst, I would say. Alright, so I'm going to skip on ahead here to the end of these demonstrations, or at least end of these gameplay, to show you what I earned for coins. And they're not impressive. For skill level 1, I got 883 coins. For skill level 2, I got 1,041 coins. And for skill level 3, I got 1,113. So definitely not going to be great for coins. And for score, because I do have her at a low level still, she's not going to be effective. But if you do have her at a higher level, maybe at level 45 to 50, then maybe she gets better for score. But there's still better Tsums out there that you can use. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you to use Parade Snow White for score or for coins. You're really using her for the ability, which is to create magic bubbles. Now, I do want to show you a second gameplay of what I earned for coins and what the scores are. These are my second gameplay, so take a look at it here. For skill level 1, I got 1,174. For skill level 2, I got 1,084. And for skill level 3, I got 1,215 coins. The improvements here are very minuscule. They're not going to be any big jumps here. It's really hardly noticeable. And also it has to do with luck as well. Because like I mentioned, these bubbles that are being made have a range. So you could get a lower range or you could get a higher range. So that's all coming down to luck. So let's take a look at it side by side between my first game and the second game. So you could kind of see where we're at. For skill level 1, the score wise, it's high 2 millions. For skill level 2, it's in the 3 million to 4 million range. And for skill level 3, I was getting low 3 million and mid range 4 million. For the second gameplay. So the score wise and also for the coins do vary depending on your experience. So I wouldn't recommend Parade Snow White for coins or for score, but really for the ability, which is to create magic bubbles. So if you need a bubble maker, Parade Snow White is perfect for that. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you guys found this video helpful in determining if you want to invest in Parade Snow White or not. And if you'd like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this or support this channel, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. And if you already subscribed to this channel, put it in the comments below so that way I know you already subscribed. And as always, thank you so much for watching.